Something is happening in Washington that almost nobody in the corporate press is talking about honestly. The federal government has shut down again. That's not new. It's happened before over Obamacare, over immigration, over the border wall, but this time it's different. It's not about a single policy fight. It's not even about money. It's about something far more dangerous. Trust, or rather, the total collapse of it. When government shuts down because politicians can't agree on what to spend money on, that's bad enough. But when government shuts down because no one trusts anyone to follow through on anything, that's a sign of political system that's gone off the rails. Democrats say they don't trust the White House to stick to any spending agreement. And frankly, why should anyone be surprised? For months, the administration has been accused of ignoring congressional appropriations. Literally, not spending money the way Congress directed. That's not some small disagreement. That's the executive branch telling the legislative branch we don't care what you decide. That's a crisis right there hiding in plain sight. Meanwhile, President Trump, now in his second term, does not trust Democrats on virtually anything. And honestly, after what he's been through, it's hard to blame him. After being impeached twice and surviving two assassination attempts, he's running the government with a clarity of purpose. He's passing a focused slate of Republican priorities through a razor-thin majority and signing a record number of executive orders. He's not pretending this is some kumbaya bipartisan government anymore. He's governing as if the other side has made clear they'll do anything to stop him. Because they have. That's left Washington in a place where no one believes anyone else. One senator admitted he tried to build a process to create trust. He failed. Another senator openly accused Democrats of just wanting photo ops, not real negotiations. You can't negotiate if you think the other person is lying to your face. And right now, that's exactly what both parties believe. But this isn't just about Congress. This isn't just about the president. This is about us, the country. Nearly two-thirds of voters now believe America is too divided to solve its problems. 8 in 10 say the nation is in a political crisis. Think about that. That's not some poll cooked up by a campaign. That's the New York Times and Quinnipiac. Even they can't hide it anymore. In Trump's second term, both parties are operating in what you could call parallel universes. There's almost no bipartisan legislation. There's no Mitch McConnell cutting quiet deals behind closed doors. There's no Nancy Pelosi running the House like a machine. The old dealmakers are gone. What's replaced them is raw power, politics, and mutual suspicion. Trump has reshaped the Republican Party entirely in his image. He's surrounded by fewer establishment figures trying to water down his agenda. He's plowing ahead like a bulldozer, unapologetically, and Democrats, they've been in shock since their defeat in 2024. Their base is restless, their message is fractured, and inside their own ranks, the trust is evaporating. That's the part almost nobody mentions. Democrats aren't just fighting Trump, they're fighting themselves. The party that once united young voters, unions, and minorities is splintering. On one side, the old guard, on the other, an increasingly loud far-left faction led by figures like Bernie Sanders, AOC, and Zoran Mandami. After losing in 2024, they can't even agree on what their party stands for anymore. And voters see it. One Democrat congresswoman put it bluntly, there is no trust that they will make good on any promise. That's not a Republican talking. That's a Democrat talking about the White House. Meanwhile, confidence in America's institutions is collapsing at a pace no one in the establishment wants to admit. Only 27% of Americans say they trust the Supreme Court, down from 40% a decade ago. Confidence in the criminal justice system has dropped 10 points since 2013. And the media? It's practically a punchline. Only 11% trust television news. Only 17% trust newspapers. Those are record lows. This is not a healthy country arguing over tax policy. This is a civilization losing faith in its own nervous system. And yet, if you turn on CNN or MSNBC, what do you hear? A few minutes about the Blue Angels canceling an air show. The Smithsonian might close for a few days. Oh no, and is the real story is some museums and flyovers? Here's the truth. The federal government is 7 trillion machine logged inside a 30 trillion economy. Shutting down parts of that machine is like jamming a wrench into the engine of a jet mind flight. At first, you might not notice much. A few events cancelled, a few museums shuttered, but over time the pressure builds. By mid-October, hundreds of thousands of federal workers and contractors will miss their first paychecks. 2 weeks later, they'll miss another, right as rent is due, right as mortgages are due. Do you remember the last time this happened? During the 2018-2019 shutdown, under Trump's first term, Coast Guard families were told to hold garage sales to pay for groceries. That wasn't spin, that happened. This time the stakes are even higher, because unlike in the past, there is no pair of seasoned power brokers in the room cutting a deal. No Pelosi, no McConnell, just president who does not trust the other party, and a Congress that does not trust the president. And now, Trump has started doing something new, something only possible in 2025. He's releasing a steady stream of AI-generated videos mocking Democrats and vulnerable federal workers. He's not hiding it. It's part of the strategy. The White House sees this shutdown as a way to pressure and fracture Democrats permanently. And they might not be wrong. Democrats blinked during the 2018 shutdown. This time, they're trying to project strength. They're demanding guarantees on healthcare tax credits, on appropriations being followed, on spending bills being honored. But the White House's answer is simple. Reopen the government first, then we'll talk. What happens when two sides that fundamentally don't trust each other stare across the table and both say, "You move first"? The answer? Nothing moves. That's where we are. This shutdown is not just a political fight. It's a mirror. It shows us exactly where the country is, fractured, cynical, and increasingly convinced that the system does not work. It's not just Washington that's broken. It's the bond between the people and the institutions that claim to represent them. And if that sounds dramatic, consider this. Democracies don't usually collapse with a bang. They erode slowly as trust fades, institutions lose legitimacy, and citizens stop believing anyone's telling them the truth. That's the danger we're flirting with right now. So where does this end? Someone eventually will have to blink. Maybe federal workers missing paychecks forces a deal. Maybe financial markets apply pressure. Maybe political calculations shift. But notice what's missing in that list. Trust. Because right now there is none. The last time Washington truly functioned was when people who hated each other still believed the other side would honor a deal. Reagan and Tip O'Neill, Clinton and Gingrich, Bush and Pelosi, they fought like hell, but they respected the rules of the game. Those rules are gone now. And until they return, shutdowns like this won't just be temporary glitches. They'll be the new normal. The real story isn't the shutdown itself. It's what the shutdown reveals. And what it reveals is a country staring into the mirror and not liking what it sees. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe, and hit that bell so you never miss an update. Your support lets me keep bringing you more content just like this. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.